At the first weekend of Coachella 2013, Daft Punk, 8 years from the release of their third album Human After All, debuted a trailer for their fourth album, Random Access Memories. It featured a snippet of future big record Get Lucky, featuring Pharrell Williams, Nile Rodgers, and the robots themselves dressed snazzily like a throwback music video. I wasn't at Coachella because I was broke, but I did see a sketchy YouTube video featuring cell phone footage of the trailer when it launched, and hearing fans lose their minds at the list of collaborators to be featured on the LP filled me with glee. At the time, I was still a devoted and diehard music fan, just beginning my career as a critic and still obsessively consuming new albums every single week. A far cry from who I am now, a man who spent the last week listening to nothing but the same three Todd Rundgren songs, Clouded by Brent Faiyaz, and The Bridge from Driver's License. Just The Bridge. And now, after another 8-year gap in releases when I foolishly thought we might hear some news about Daft Punk's return, the robots instead have announced their retirement in as extra a way as humanly possible by posting an excerpt from their 2006 film Electroma to bid their fans across the world a farewell. It's not the biggest surprise, given they basically haven't done anything since winning Album of the Year for Random Access Memories, other than of course help The Weeknd impersonate Michael Jackson. So why am I so bummed out? To explain, we have to go all the way back to 2003. To maybe the most important and lasting work Daft Punk has left us with. Hi everyone, I'm Tom Griffin, I'm a film critic. This is the Armchair Auteur, an ongoing video series I do where we talk about new movies, old movies, screenplay analysis, that sort of thing. If that's something you're into, if you like movies and people talking about them, please consider subscribing. We're going to be talking about Interstellar 5555, the story of the secret star system. So it must be said that I am not a Daft Punk superfan or anything. I love their music and I respect their iconography, and I cannot deny that above all else, they have become so seriously ingrained into the fabric of popular culture as to be completely unavoidable. So much of their appeal, beyond the bright sheen of their curiously sampled-based electronic music, has always been their uncanny ability to tether their sonic output to memorable visual companion pieces. Sure, their music video work with directors like Spike Jonze and Michel Gondry remains iconic, not to mention how instrumental they were in making Tron Legacy feel relevant, but everything about their aesthetic, their presentation, both on stage and IRL, is about connecting the aural to the ocular. As much as I love music videos, I often think about this Martin Scorsese quote I couldn't find the origin of, so I'll just paraphrase. Basically, Marty, himself a music lover, a man not unfamiliar with the world of music videos, said that he misses the days of consuming music before the advent of the music video, because you, the listener, could imagine your own visuals in your head as you played the records. You directed your own personal music video that could be closer to you than anything the record label's marketing department could ever arrange. But I think Interstellar, a near feature-length companion piece to Daft Punk's 2000 album Discovery, might be an example that both proves and refutes Marty's hypothesis. My introduction to that film, the accompanying album, and Daft Punk themselves all came back in the summer of 2001, when Cartoon Network aired Toonami Midnight Run Special Edition, an ancillary installment of their Toonami programming block that debuted 4 chapters of Interstellar as standalone music videos. One More Time, Aerodynamic, Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, and Digital Love became my undefeated favorite songs on Discovery after purchasing a copy and burning holes into the CD from constant replay. The animated project, supervised by Captain Harlock creator Leiji Matsumoto, also helped to turn me into a weeb, but not before addicting me to the futuristic nostalgia of Daft Punk's approach to music, of ripping apart the tunes they loved in their youth from the 70s and 80s, only to bring them back to life as something new entirely. Because of this strong bond formed in my teen years, anytime I would hear one of the songs from Discovery pop up on shuffle, I would immediately imagine the corresponding images from Interstellar, proving what Marty said about music videos and their ability to take control of your mind's eye. But it wasn't until this past week, in the news of Daft Punk's retirement, that I actually watched the entire film in full. And doing so made me realize that everyone involved with this project knew exactly what Marty was getting at in his criticism and factored it into the fabric of their experiment. Though the concept of the visual album has become more and more du jour in recent years, Interstellar remains, to my mind, the platonic ideal of the form. Wordless and with minimal sound effects, the animated film unfolds with no accompaniment save for the songs of Discovery, weaving the music into the film's ongoing narrative. The plot of Interstellar is pretty straightforward. It begins on an alien planet where a popular band, keyboardist Octave, guitarist Arpeggius, drummer Beryl, and bass player Stella play to a packed crowd. Suddenly, mysterious armed forces descend and steal them away, transporting them all the way to Earth, where they are brainwashed and cosmetically altered to appear as regular Earthlings, a new band called the Crescendolls. But Shep, a space pilot from their world obsessed with Stella and the band, hears of the incident and travels to Earth to try to save them. This mind-wiped iteration of the group catches on like wildfire, with the Earl de Darkwood, their human captor, reaping the benefits. As Shep arrives and tries to free them from their predicament, the battle between he and the Earl's army costs Shep his life, with the band eventually brought back to this horrid new reality, where they're trapped on a foreign planet with no way home, hunted by a man who wants to profit off of their talent in his dastardly plot to amass 5,555 gold records to use to rule the universe. This having a somewhat happy ending, he fails in his evil quest, with the goodwill earned from the band's music from Hello Earthlings forming together to get them back to their home planet, where they memorialize Shep, the man who freed them from a far worse fate. My two favorite passages in the final film, outside of my childish obsession with its opening 4 chapters, come with the sequences set to the 2 songs Superheroes and Too Long. In the former, Shep fights to free the band from their mind control, and watching a die-hard fan of a band go to war with the major label that took them away from his comfortable reach and foisted them into mainstream servitude certainly hit close to home for the lapsed hipster in me. But it's the latter set piece where the track Too Long acquires a more melancholic edge than it has for me in the last 20 years, underscoring the group's sojourn home with a harrowing mixture of relief and regret. Yes, it's been too long since they have been home, and they're grateful for their return. But what about the cost? The film's style and aesthetic perfectly capture everything I love about Daft Punk, with its carefully curated motifs and its addictive blend of analog and digital. And seeing how entrenched the film is with the music, it perfectly encapsulates what Marty was talking about with the music video. It's impossible to imagine this album without the mind-conjuring reflections of this homage to the anime Daft Punk so loved in their youth. But it's the film's coda that really got me, when the band's closing tribute to Shep pulls out to reveal the entire story we've been witness to was just the result of a young boy's overactive imagination. This adorable little Tommy Westfall's interpretation of the album Discovery blended together with the toys in his room. It's a fitting conclusion. Even though its specificity and spectacle robs us of the ability to craft our own memories around the album, it is in and of itself a monument to the childlike glee of getting lost within the world of music, of believing in and experiencing something so fervently you can burrow endlessly into its depth. It made me realize that what I was so sad about was not Daft Punk calling it quits. Realistically, they're probably going to come back in 10 years to cash in on a really big comeback tour. It's not that I miss Daft Punk, like their music is still around. I miss how I felt when I first listened to Daft Punk. I miss the part of me that could feel and connect to something so passionately. Like the part of me that liked new things and cared and took it so seriously that it basically like was my life. I feel further and further away from that part of myself with every passing day. And it's kind of depressing. Like, this channel is me picking apart movies and analyzing them and sharing my thoughts with you. And like some days I just don't even feel like I like movies anymore, or music, or comics, or wrestling. Any of the things that I love, I just feel like, it's diminishing returns. But watching Interstellar for the first time in full and revisiting these songs and other Daft Punk songs that I hadn't listened to in a long time that I started listening to again because they broke up and stuff, I realized that it's okay that I'm not going to feel that way anymore as I get older. Because pretty much anytime I want to, I can throw this on and relive it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys liked the video. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the little bell icon to get notifications when I put out new videos. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or thoughts about Daft Punk or the movie or other stuff, talk to me in the comments below. I love talking to you guys. And yeah, I hope everyone's staying safe and being good to yourselves and each other and wearing your masks. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.